everyone seems to know where they're going. They all have a steady plan to do on that. But I'm not.
I feel like I don't know how to enjoy my life anymore, if that makes sense.
Or it's too late, like everybody who's like doing that, they're already doing it.
Do you guys feel the stress when other people feel like you should do it this way?
Gary, do you know your value? Are you dating? Are you having sex? Check those boxes. Healthy food.
Oh my god.
No, go out.
So fast, man.
Hello! Welcome to yet another season of TingTingandKaKa's podcast. And this season, we're gonna talk about...
We are going to talk about what is work from the lenses of Chinese millennials in Australia.
Whoa, how boring and depressing.
Well, we both took a career break to find the meaning of work. Many friends in our community are also wondering how to find the dream job, how to be financially independent, and how to navigate certain tricky work situations.
All right, blah, blah, blah.
So this is a safe space for us to share our true stories and real feelings towards work.
Ooh, dark secrets? I'm in.
No, it's a safe space. No dark secrets.
Dark secrets. 霸道总裁爱上我. So everyone, I have a confession. I am on a career break. Woo!
Woo! Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of you finally taking the leap to chase your dreams. How do you feel right now?
I'm not sure I'm like chasing my dream. All I knew at the time was that I had to stop doing what I was doing and explore different things for my full potential.
Oh, this sounds both exciting and scary at the same time. I'm also trying to figure out the relationship between the work and the dream. Maybe we can do this together.
Oh, well, isn't this why we decided to do this season about work through peer mentorship so that we can hear different perspectives and share our challenges with our community?
So that's why I also invited old friends of mine to join this episode. His name is Gary. I've known Gary since our uni time. He's someone who seems to have figured everything out. Gary originally from Malaysia and came to Australia to study when he was young. So Gary now is working in one of the top tech companies. I'm so jealous of Gary.
Enough about Gary. It's rapid fire time.
First question. What would you choose? A high paid job you hate or a low paid job you love at this stage of your life? Ting Ting.
Well, low paid job. I'm literally unemployed.
Okay. Gary.
Do I have to choose between these two? Can I choose somewhere in the middle?
You just give your answer.
I'll choose a high paid job. I'll choose a high paid job.
You can say
if
why.
I can, because a high paid job potentially can help me and support me what I want to do.
So I would choose a high paid job as well. The reason is because for me, whatever I do, I would enjoy it anyway, because that's my recent realization is doesn't matter what I do, I will make it something enjoyable. So it doesn't. So if that's the scenario, high pay, low pay is not important. So I go with high pay. Cool.
职场海王.
I thought it's English, man.
It's like career bitch. That's my translation. You're a career bitch.
Hey, that's a good title. I'm going to hashtag career bitch. Let's go into my new Twitter hashtag now. Okay, second question. Who would you most like to impress with your work and why? Ting Ting.
I want to impress my ex-manager. Like, I will be very happy if she is impressed at what I'm doing, because I think she reminds me of my mom. Oh my god, it's gonna sound so weird.
You definitely should have that conversation with our therapy, because I have the exact same conversation with my
therapy here somewhere. Sounds like you have some problem.
Rapid fire.
Okay, Gary, and then I put the timer on as well to make sure we keep on track.
For me, to be honest, I never think of I need to impress anyone. If I have to, I would say maybe myself. Like, I like to do something that I couldn't even imagine I can do. That's pretty much it.
Good question. Good answer, actually. I wish I can give the same answer as you do, Gary. Like, I wanted to say I wanted to impress myself, but it's not. The truth is I always wanted to impress my parents, unfortunately. All right. Next question.
Why?
I don't want to talk about it. I need more drink. If you were braver, what would you be doing with your life?
What was that for? What's that alarm for?
All right, that was 30 seconds.
What if I'm braver? Are we doing what I'm doing now? It took a lot of courage to take a career break.
Okay.
I'm doing what I'm doing now, like take a career break and do whatever I want. Yeah.
Okay, Gary, what about you?
My answer is absolutely the same, to be honest. Like, I'll do exactly what I'm doing right now because I enjoy it. I don't think brave or not, like bravery or whatever, would change my decision.
Cool. Okay, my answer is the same. Okay, three of us, just one. Basically, we are living in the dream. Perfect. I think one more question.
Let's summarize that, okay?
When you fear you might have wasted your life, what do you hate about your job? Ting.
Oh, like assuming you have wasted your life on the job. I think staying in my comfort zone. If I haven't taken that career break and I just went ahead, just never questioning whether there's more potential out there, doing like a 9-to-5 job, that's what I would fear.
Okay, Gary, what about you?
I'm more afraid that I stop learning. So for every job that I work for, I'm really, really afraid that I will be stagnant and never learn something new or something that should help me in not only my career and anything, to be honest, my life, anything. So for me, I'll be very, very afraid if I get stagnant. That's all.
Okay, that's a good answer as well. For me, I think the biggest fear for my job is I lose the purpose. I don't know why I'm doing my job. Now we finish our very rapid fire sessions. We're actually going to some, I guess, the peer mentorship, which is the core of this particular podcast now. I actually have a problem I wanted to solve with you guys as well. I also kind of take a little bit career break for about 2 months, which is...
you want to do it for a year, man.
Everyone thought I'm going to do a 6 months.
I feel so betrayed. I feel so betrayed.
Definitely not a year. I definitely didn't say a year. I was thinking about 3 months initially because initially my psychology actually recommends 3 to 6 months. But then I recover faster, which is good. But during the time, I guess the biggest thing for me to stop is because I realize everything I do, a job, I feel like I'm in the good position. I'm in a good job, in the job that I thought I wanted. And then I have a team of people. I have enough salary to sustain myself. I feel like I'm supposed to feel fulfilled and happy, but I don't. I feel like I don't know what's the purpose. So everything I do, I don't feel like I'm moving forward to somewhere. I feel like I'm staying there or even staying back. But then I don't know where I wanted to go. So that's the reason why I kind of stopped. I have exactly the same moment. Before I do that, I call all my trusty advisor around me, literally almost everyone I trust, to basically say, should I do it? Because it's really scary. Like the reason why I'm going to stop is something super stupid. I can't even still explain to people. When I explain to my therapy, I find it hard. Is I wanted to stop to find out about my purpose because it could be part of it. I try to explain to people it's because I burn out. It's because like it caused a lot of health stress situation for me. That is true, but at the same time, I also know there's a bigger reason for that. It's because I feel like I don't want to run when I don't know the directions, if you know what I mean.
Oh, wait, let me understand. So you knew your purpose and then you lost it and then you have to find it again, or you never knew?
I thought I knew.
And what was that?
And also my purpose is always being better. It's my purpose. I just want to be better all the time.
How selfish.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Maybe that's a reason. No. Maybe that's a reason. It's not a good purpose.
Before the purpose is just like improvement, like keep learning, like self-fulfillment. That sounds like a fair enough purpose. So what's your problem?
You get lost in the middle, right? Like you just get lost along the way, if that makes sense. Back to your question, You remember the question you asked where if you have which one would I choose? Would I choose a high paid job that I don't like, or would I choose a low paid job that I have full passion with? If I have to choose, I would choose a job that offers me work-life balance. Like seriously, it's purely because like there's not enough money to actually fill up the gap that you want. Let's put it this way. Like no matter you are the richest man in the world, things like
My
you
problem
never
is I
fill
don't
up
know
the
why I
gap.
want. I don't know why I want. I thought
That's
I
what I'm saying.
want. Mm.
So for me, having a work-life balance will give me more time to explore, like to understand myself, to explore different things, to understand more about myself and what I want. That's pretty much it. So I mean, for me, I think it makes sense to me. Like if you're burned out a little bit, you feel a bit lost, you're not very happy with your work, you need to slow. There's nothing wrong to slow down so that you catch a break and understand yourself, your need, your desire, and then move on from there as well.
So it goes back to work-life balance. So Charlotte, do you think it was like you were really lacking work-life balance and that's why you felt a bit lost?
When you talk about that, I think there's definitely a component of lacking of enough time to reflect about the purpose. I definitely thinking if a bit longer time for me to reflect about it, to looking at the big picture where I am, and it might help the situation a little bit more. And at the same time, I guess I just also feel overwhelmed a little bit. But maybe there's another thing there is maybe it's a comparison maybe deep in my heart as well. I just feel like, okay, everyone in my life, in their life, all seems to know where they're going. I don't want anything. During the time, I don't want to climb the ladder. I know I can climb the ladder, but I don't want to climb the ladder. I know I can starting a business. During that, I start a business, but I'm not full in on my business. I know I can do better in, I don't know, doing more public speaking and pursuing the story leadership, but I'm not doing that. I feel like I can do everything, but I don't know what I should focusing myself on. And then I just feel overwhelming about that. But everyone seems to all know where they're going. They all have a steady plan to do on that. But I'm not.
There's nothing wrong about it, right? It's like if you know that, I mean, let's put it this way, if you are happy where you are right now, why change them?
I wasn't happy.
Like well, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like if you get stressful from the external stuff, right, from the outside world, like oh, people actually move on, but I feel like I'm still stagnant because I'm not moving on, right? I know I can do this, all these kind of things, but I don't know if I want to do it or not because you don't know that. That's what I keep saying, right? That you try it out and things like try it, see if you like it or not, and things like that. But if you don't want to do it, like it's fine as well, right? If you fully happy with where you are right now, I don't know. It's like it feels like it comes from a stress, right? It doesn't necessarily come from, like, oh, I need to do this because I don't know that. That's pretty much it.
What?
So, like what he's saying, like it sounds like he's saying that you were reacting rather than initiating.
Maybe. To be very honest, I was very overwhelmed with my emotions. Maybe I was actually a bit more reactive when I was during the period of time.
Yeah. I'm more selfish. I don't really care about other people's expectation. But I do have an expectation for myself. And when I set an expectation for myself, I'll try my 100% or even more.
But how do you make peace with yourself? What have you been in a situation that you feel like you are not meeting your own expectation? How do you make peace with yourself?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like it's not about hitting the target. It's more about putting out the first step to hit the target. I'll give an example, like a very, very good example. Like before I joined my current company, I told myself that I want to join the FANG's company. I will
What's
actually
the
just break out.
Sorry, it's a fintech.
Oh.
Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
I invest in them. That's how I know.
Sorry, I should explain them. Yeah, so basically, I wanted to join one of those companies because as an engineer myself, those are my dream job. So I work on it. Like basically, I told myself, hey, look, so what do I do? What I have to change to hit my target? So back in the day, maybe I wake up at 8 so that I can arrive in the office at 9. but I wake up at 5 so that I can study myself and then do a bit more preparation and things like for interviews and things like that. Eventually, I go to work. That's all. I consistently doing that for nearly half a year. And where did it get me? It got me into LinkedIn. So they actually sent me to San Francisco. So they sent me a ticket, go to San Francisco, we do an interview and things like that. Unfortunately, I didn't get the job, but I learned a lot of things. That it's a really, really good experience for me. I learned everything about it. Absolutely loved the whole experience. And I came back, I didn't get the job. Yes, I'm a bit sad and I didn't hit my target, I didn't hit my goal, I didn't hit my dream. But I know that I'm actually on the right direction because I have I just constantly doing the same thing and then to keep trying it, persistent to do my routine and things like that. Eventually, I know that I get opportunity there, not only from LinkedIn, like Google, Facebook, they all kind of give me a very similar opportunity. And that's the moment that gives me the verification that, hey, it validates me that I'm on the right path. It's more about when do I succeed. So when, it doesn't really matter. It's more about, as I mentioned, it's all about the journey. And I'm on the right path right now. That's the most important thing. That's all.
Well, I think Charlotte also experiments all the time.
Yeah, I think so. I do want to recommend one book. I am getting myself out of that situation a little bit now. So I'm trying to consolidate all my thinking and learning through the way. But I did read a book called Design Your Life. The funny thing is that book is recommended by someone who in their 80s, he retired and he come back to decide to teach people he used to be a venture capitalist, so decided to teach people how to invest. And he talking about when he suddenly retired, he was lost in his life. So he started to redesign his life using the book, which the previous point talking about like searching out the purpose of life. It's a lifelong journey. It's not just graduate or your 30s, your 40s. It's actually a lifelong journey. He have to figure out his value when he is in his 80s to come back. So that really helped me in that sense to say, that's a good reminder for me. So I read through the book and try to do this exercise a bit more scientifically to basically be able to say, okay, this is an 8-step process, I guess. Like for me, I'm someone who like process to say, okay, in order to figure out what my life is, I need to understand myself, my life, getting feedback from you guys, both of you do the survey for me. I think it's kind of relate back to Gary's point. It's only if you will be able to set your goal, understand who you are, understand your end goal, but also setting up a few key milestones to be able to see this progress. It will help you work. All right, less than 1 minute. Let's go, and we'll come back and talking about Ting some of the problem maybe Ting or Gary's have as well.
Oh, where do I start? So, like when I was young, like one of my earliest memories of me being like happy and feeling like valued and feeling right about myself is when there was me singing kind of like random tunes on the toilet, or when I was, like in kindergartens they do this sort of events and I'll be like dancing, or I've been doing like the children model show, like walking down the runway. So that does impact me a lot. Like I never pursued in that direction, trying to like train as a model or dancer or anything. But that first memory of you as a human being and you being talented at something, getting praised for something, that sets the identity quite early on, and for fair enough reason I didn't pursue that, or my parents more or less decided not to sort of train me in that direction. Obviously it's not a very popular profession 20 years ago. It's not very difficult to just focus on your academic grades because that's the mainstream, and then naturally you just kind of, you're like a boat that flows in that mainstream. Like unless you really decide to go in a different direction, you will study hard and you will think that grades are important. I remember when I was really young, maybe like year 1 or year 2, I really wanted to make this world a better place. That has probably been the louder message for my whole primary school to second school era. And that sense of I want to perform, I want to be in the center of the spotlight is kind of a sore spot for me. It was more like I wouldn't actively think about it. It would be more like I see somebody doing something, like I see someone on TV, and then I'll think, oh, like that really touches me, and and then I'm stress eating, and then again I'll try to deny myself to say, oh, you know, it's too late, you know, like everybody who's like doing that, they're already doing it, and then like you never trained in, like it's just either it's too late or you're not talented enough, and then everything in my life is set to like the right direction anyways. And then where was I up to? Yes, I want to make the world a better place. I remember like being in the car with my parents, and I just kind of saw street dogs being really like having a sad life. And then there's a lot of things I see. Like I always tell myself, oh, I want to make it better. I want to do things that's good for the world. And then yeah, that's just a really strong message. And then in a way, this message is a lot more easier to share. It's like, oh, what do you want? Yeah, I want to make the world a better place. Instead of, yeah, I want to be a celebrity. I want to be the center of attention. Yeah. So these are the two main themes or like dreams I carried throughout to today. And then that's why I become a public servant. And that's why I'm doing like dancing, podcasting. And I've never stopped kind of like the entertaining side, presentation side is always on the side. And I thought I reconciled with this, like, you know, I have everything. You know how people say, you can't have a job that ticks every box. And then if you have a job that you're happy with, which I was, I am still like, every time I go to a meeting, like I'll be like, oh, this really, like my blood is boiling because of this. I care about this stuff. It's lucky to have a job that you care about and that ticks your boxes. But if it doesn't tick all the boxes, that's fine. You can do something in your spare time, you know, as long as that gives you the work-life balance. And my job did that as well. It was perfect. So in a way, my life had that meaningful job. My life had that creativity. So I thought it was perfect. Like I thought I could do this forever. And until one day, I just realized because I was kind of asking myself if I truly want to make an impact to the world. There was an opportunity to be promoted, and I wasn't super excited about it. I just wanted to stay in my role. And then I started to question my intention of wanting to improve the world or like wanting to make a positive impact. Because if I do want to make a positive impact, shouldn't I want to maybe be promoted, being in a higher rank so I can have bigger influence? Or should I be, you know, doing campaigns, politics? And shouldn't I be spending more time looking up this stuff in my spare time? But the reality is the job gave me that comfort, so I can be doing a lot of dancing, a lot of podcasting, a lot of sort of work-life balance, thinking about and dreaming about maybe a YouTube, maybe an Instagram. And that's what basically what got me here. And then I realized I can't do this forever. I am in the comfort zone, and I am in a way blinding myself that I'm not fulfilling my full potential, and this is not really what I want. And
Is
hence I
that
took
why-
the career break.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to ask. Is that why you get a career break?
Yes, that's why. But then it's not only why. It was also because at work it was because I realized the work is less satisfying. It used to be every day I go to work, I'm 100% with this work, and I am not 100% because like I was telling my colleague about this. It's like my work is like my boyfriend, and he didn't do anything wrong, but then I just realized I still like him, but then I'm not like that, like, affectionate anymore. And then he didn't do anything wrong, but it's not fair for him that I am not 100% if I'm also looking at other guys. No, like what I'm doing now is experiment. Like I'm just gonna try different things.
One thing I realized is that after both of you share your, problems or challenges and things like that, I realized that both of you share a very similar problem, which is, when you guys go through the journey, right? When you share your journey, it's like, it seems like you guys care a lot about other people's judgment. Do you guys feel the stress when other people feel like you should do it this way?
Yeah, I think some areas are more sensitive to criticism and some you are more grown out of it. To answer your question, do I receive active pressure from the society? No individual is giving me that, but that reminded me when I was young, I had a very strong sense that I had to prove I am successful, and then success by the definition of the society, like you get praised by the auntie and uncles on your New Year's table, that kind of that kind of success. It's like, oh my god, look at Ting Ting, yeah. It's like and yeah, maybe old habit die hard. Now I don't get that, but I do have a very big insecurity in terms of job. Like, I'm glad you brought this up. I don't know how relevant it is to today's topic, but I feel that's why also I think I question whether corporate climbing the ladder is for me, because it's not in my value system that I just always want to go up. But then I do compare myself. I worry that I'm not earning enough. I'm not, like, my title is not impressive enough. And then when I joined this job, like, it was my dream job. So it was like, as dream changes, this was my dream. And I told, like, before I began the job, I wrote to myself, like, just as a reminder to, I've got that spreadsheet here. I can read to you. It's really cringe. Gosh. Okay, it says, "Hi, future Ting Ting. Don't forget about how lucky you are to work with the people you dreamt to work with. Don't forget the creativity and hopes you have for the future of the smart cities." Oh gosh. And now I am obviously putting myself before my job. And I remember when I was writing that, I was exactly worried about my insecurities. My ego would get into the way of me achieving that greater good. Well, I'm not really achieving that greater good like that. I realized, if I really want to achieve greater good, then I should do something more productive rather than do a job that everybody can replace.
But there's nothing wrong about it, though. Like, seriously, there's nothing wrong about it. Like,
yeah.
The reason why I raised that is because I find it very, very interesting. Because, three of us come from a different background. Like, for my culture, I'm lucky enough that I'll be honest, I never feel the pressure from the society, in a sense that I don't really care how people look at me. Let's put it this way. It's more self-centered, I would say, honestly. It's because I care more about myself. I always put myself a lot more than, how can I say, it's like, oh, if someone else thinks that I'm actually an asshole, I don't really care, to be honest. If you think I'm an asshole, it just purely means that you don't know well enough for me.
Maybe Ting, do you want to share a little bit more about your thoughts about the conversation so far, to see how does it help you with some of the scenario you mentioned before, or it's not at all, we totally go off track?
But with what Gary said, I think for me, obviously I took a career break, and that shows in a way, I don't always make my decisions based on what other people would think the best of me. But it's a constant battle. Maybe because of our background, it's a constant battle I have to fight to say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Like, you enough, like, it's okay, just do what you want. Do what you want.
It is, I'm not kidding. It is okay.
But it's not easy as you know, some fortunate others.
I think it's definitely a journey.
Like, I have to keep telling myself, if I imagine in a future interview that people ask me, so why did you take a career break? The assumption I had was the assumption I have about them will be, they will be thinking, gosh, this person is so cool. She has like a career break, like a 1-year career break on the resume. What cool story I'm gonna hear. And like, there I come. This is my story of how I found true meaning of life. You're welcome.
If I interview you, I would say this way: look, this guy knows what he wants. Like, it's a lot easier than actually interviewing someone that looks like a perfect human. You get what I mean? It's like, it's that's why I say it's okay to be lost. It's okay to not know what you want. But it's more like you need to admit that. Don't feel embarrassed about it.
So now is Gary said. So Ting, do you think the problems or questions you share with us has kind of giving some sort of thoughts and feedback and discussions so far?
Rather than solving my problem, I feel like I discovered another problem to solve. It's like, let go of other people's judgment.
Kidding. I think that is a very key thing to do, so that you'll be exploring so much more than what you can do as well.
Thank you, the lucky guy. It's easy.
I'm not kidding. Like, I have my own problem as well. Like,
okay, now it's the time. Talk about your own problem, please. Come on, we are dying for this.
We're ready to grill you, man.
Hey, with him and a safe environment. we say it first before we grill you.
And my current state, I would say that my dream would be more like I would like to find ways to be more happy. Like,
you're not happy now?
I'm happy.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is more like,
are you dating? Are you having sex? Check those boxes. Healthy food.
Oh my god.
No, go
so
out.
fast, man.
How much have you drinking?
Problem solved. Just go out, meet people.
Okay, I'm going to drink now. This conversation is out of control.
So what I'm saying is more like, so throughout my journey, yes, I'm very thankful towards what I experienced and things like that, because that's what it become what I am right now. I learned a lot from it. But what I realized is that throughout the whole journey, yes, like I'm lucky enough that I don't have too much problem with my career. And I would say that I don't have too much problem in my personal life as well. But if I have to be judgmental, I would say that you always feel like something's missing for me. That's pretty much it. Like, I feel like, yes, I'm happy, I'm satisfied with my current life, but I feel like I can be more happy. Like, there's a part where you can do more, but what's that more thing? Like, for me, especially, it's a topic as vague as happiness. Like, that part is very, very vague. So for me, the challenge is more like, how can I be more, how can I say, it's like satisfied with my current state, so that I can live with that uncertainty that I know that I don't have. That's pretty much it.
Is it fair to say you're bored?
No, I'm not bored.
No?
So not bored. Okay.
You just think it could be better. Life could be better.
I just feel like I can be better. Yes, my life can be better. That's pretty much it. So,
in what direction do you know? Like, in what direction you think it can be better? Like, in personal life, professional life, like personal growth? Like, what part do you think it can be better?
well, that's the thing, right? I know that I can be better with all of them, but I do know that from work perspective, I make a decision that I want to stay what I am right now because I'm very, very happy with what I am right now. I can teach people, I can be efficient, I can do a change in things like that part. I'm very happy and very satisfied as well. But my personal life, I would say that so I just came out from a relationship and not just like I came out of a relationship like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So it's a bit hard for me because it's quite a long-term commitment and things like that. And for me right now, I would say that it's fine. But at the same time, I do know that it's up to a point where I lost my identity a little bit because as you guys know, when you get together and things like that, you potentially become someone else because you get with someone else, you get along with some other people so well, eventually you potentially become someone else model and things like that. And when you break up and things like that, I would say that myself, I feel like I lost my identity because I used to be more, how can I say, I used to be more social. I used to be more extrovert and things like that. But right now, I would say that I'm a little bit more conservative, a little bit more settled, a little bit more, I don't know, it's more like
You feel like being
I lost my
hurt.
identity. No, not that way. I feel like I don't know how to enjoy my life anymore, if that makes sense. So, but that's why for me, the dream is a bit interesting. It's because it's more like, first, how can I live a life that I will be proud of? Like something that not necessarily means that you need to get a marriage, not necessarily need to get, a partner, whatever. That doesn't make sense to me anymore. It's more like, as I mentioned, I'm more self-centered right now, which means that today, how can I be more happy? That's a very, very simple question, but that's the most difficult question that people can answer.
I have two hypotheses, so just like say which one is more closer. From what you said, the first hypothesis I had was I once heard that happiness is gained from overcoming a challenge. So maybe it's your life is too perfect, it's too good, it's a lack of stimuli, and again, screw you, man. All right. The second one is I'm thinking about COVID. I'm thinking about what we're going through. And then you have been single. I'm assuming from what you said, you exited the relationship for 4 to 5 years. So, and another saying is happiness is measured by the quality of your relationship. So it could be a lack of relationship or the quality of relationship.
I used to think that. So interesting enough that I used to think that a relationship is actually very important in my life. But right now,
only romantic relationship we are talking about is a relationship in general.
I'm talking about all relationships.
General,
like friendship, anything, to be honest, I feel like. But at the same time, I would say that I agree with you. Like, I'm not saying that I have a perfect life. Definitely not. I have my own problems.
You're trying to say that.
Good to know.
No, definitely not. But what I feel like is more like, okay, a wise man once told me, a very, very good friend, he's a very, very wise person. He once told me that, actually, I should give you a bit of background first. He is a very wealthy man. He doesn't have any problems at all in his life. He has a life.
I don't trust this kind of
wealthy,
person.
He has money. He's wealthy. He has family, kids. No problem at all. But he's not happy at all. He literally is not happy at all. And occasionally when I was in the pub with him, we talk about it and things like that. He's looking for the purpose of life. Like, I'm actually a very similar state as him, except that both of us look a very similar thing, which is, what is my purpose of life so that I'm more happy? Like, it's up to a point where it's not about relationship anymore, because it's up to a point where I feel like, yes, it's good if I have it. It maybe will make my life better or whatever, but I will make it up to a point where it's not the only thing I care. And it's more about how can I make myself more happy. And he gave a very, very simple answer actually, that from his discovering, let's put it this way, he discovered that happiness comes from your contentment, like how content you are in your life. And if you're not content enough, it means that you don't have that contrast in your life. So for him, life is about contrast. If you compare, yes, it's not good, you always compare, but if you're able to compare with the less fortunate person that you have, and that's the moment that you get the contentment, then potentially you get the happiness. That's his answer. Yeah, I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate to have a lot of things. I'm fortunate with my, really a lot of my journey and things like that. But it doesn't give me that happiness that I'm, it's just not, I'm not satisfied enough, if that makes sense.
You took advice from an unhappy man.
Yeah.
And that's his definition of happiness.
What is everyone's definition of happiness and success?
That's the thing, right? Like, for me, it's just very, very different. And I'm still looking for it. That's why for me right now, it's just more exploring to see what I like, what I don't like, and just trying out different things and stuff, and go from there.
Ting. What, you're dying to say something. What do you want to say?
Gary, so from what I heard, so obviously the wealthy man's definition didn't work for you when things don't happen. Like, you keep telling yourself there's kids dying out of hunger and it doesn't really solve your problem. Get it? And then the second, I think it doesn't work for anyone. It doesn't. Otherwise, the happiness issue, everybody will be happy. You said you used to think relationship is closely tied into happiness, but now you have a different perspective. So I assume it's also not my hypothesis number 2. You don't think it's relationship?
No, I don't think so.
And it's also not the first hypothesis, not the challenge?
Not challenging enough of your life.
So I'll word it this way. For the past 4 years, I challenged a lot myself. Like, as I mentioned, I tried to tackle the fence company. I tried to lose weight. This month I tried to hit like cycling and also my jogging and things like that. I try to challenge myself.
Are you happier because of that? Do you think?
I'm happier if I actually hit my target, but it does not define my life happiness, if that makes sense. The happiness that I gain from all this achievement is a very short happiness. That's why for me it's very weird. It's like, for me, it's just, I dream that I don't care about these things, but at the same time, it just feels so different, like so far away from it, if that makes sense.
Oh, I get it. So those challenges you set for yourself are more like a temporary boost in happiness, and then they would quickly decline and they don't lead to something.
Exactly.
Then is it about finding the right challenge?
Yeah, that's actually a really good exercise. I think the exercise is helpful there. Is helping you to reframe the problem, because sometimes I feel like that's one thing I learned from my Design the Life, the book, is we're always giving ourselves the wrong problem to solve. And actually when we reframe the problem, then we will actually realize what we actually struggle with. Yeah. I also thinking you probably also have confusion about the definition of your happiness as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's the thing, right? It's like the definition of happiness is so vague to everyone. So I'm still looking for it. That's pretty much it. So it's unfair to say that that's my dream, to be fair, because I don't have too much desire to my work anymore. If, let's put it this way, if today Google actually look for me for interview and things like that, I'll be super happy. I'll go 200% to try it out and things like that. But I also, at the same time, I know that if I achieve that, it will give me my life happiness.
Is that for everyone here? that dream and work is like have to come from the work, or can the dream come from other things?
Well, at the moment, my dream is tied to my work because I'm taking a career break. I'm redefining my work. So at the moment, dream is about my work.
For me, it's definitely not about work.
Okay, not about work, the dream.
Yeah, work is just a tool for me. Like work, if I get happiness from there, if I get satisfaction, like anything, like achievement, things like that from work, that's a bonus. But work is actually just a tool for me to realize my dream, if that makes sense. And back to my dream is just to be happy. That's pretty much it.
No, that's awesome. That's a part of our last question we're supposed to ask at the end of the podcast is what is the word definition of word. That's good. Because for me, work is the same. Work is a tool to help me to identify the meaning of life. So it's a way. It's instead of to provide me the meaning of life, like it's something to help me to identify, to figure out what it is. Just like everything else in my life as well.
Well, if you're as lucky as Ting, as in like, you can find a dream and work to it at the same time, that would be perfect. But for me, I know that that's not going to happen to me because yes, I enjoy my work, and I'm happy with it. But that doesn't give me my life happiness.
But the funny thing is, for me, I don't know if it help you there as well. My dream is not a destination. My dream is a process. So I feel like I'm in my dream. I definitely think I'm in my dream already. Because my dream literally is doing this. Is constantly improving myself and figure out what I want. And that process is my dream. I be able to do that constantly, passionately, and sustainably. This is what I want. So I'm. My dream is a process, and I'm in this process. I'm pretty happy about that already.
I'll pinch myself out of that.
If you think about it, technically, why you want to achieve your dream? Because that may give you the happiness that you want. May. You not guarantee it, but it may give you the happiness. For me, it feels like I'm so lost that it's back to square one. What do I want in my life?
So what's the next thing you're gonna try to find your happiness?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like for me, right now, my answer is just keep trying different things. So I can tell you what I recently did. So recently I bought a bicycle. So I really, really enjoy it. I didn't know I enjoy it. And then it's up to a point where I really feel like it's going to be part of my routine. It's going to be part of my life now. Like I will be continuously part of the cycle group, doing cycling with friends and things like that. I'll be happy about it. And that is something that I like. That I realize that I like. And it gives me happiness in my life. That's all. And it's something that I will keep forever in my life. That's all.
It seems like exercise, it seems like something that brings you a lot of joy because a lot of things you try, it seems like it's all related to fitness.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? I need to try something else than exercise.
Another question, Gary. Do you know your values?
What values? What do you mean by? Do I know what
because my new hypothesis is that
you really want to help you to solve it.
Because it sounds like there's something that's very important to you and you're not doing it. For me, that's what happiness is about. I would personally say I am a genuinely happy person, even I haven't achieved my dreams. But I'm pretty good at being happy. That's my strength.
Because if you ask me that question right now, I would say I don't really know. To be honest, yeah.
It might be a good exercise to do. We can share with you some of the value funding exercise that me and Ting are doing.
Come on.
Can I? Sorry, last thing.
Go.
I want to challenge that relationship hypothesis.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe try that.
Building meaningful relationship with people.
Let's put it this way. I believe that life is not all about relationship. Like if your life right now, my current state of my life, I would say that if your happiness comes from a relationship, that is a very big dependency. That's why I say it's a bit more self-centered, a bit more selfish. If today it's, Armageddon come in. I only, throughout the whole Sydney or whatever, I'm alone. Let's put it this way. How can I achieve happiness within myself? Is a question I'm trying to answer. That's pretty much it. If I need to find a relationship, no matter it's a romance relationship or like from my family, from my friends and things like that, to gain my happiness, for me, it's a big risk. It's because like that is a big dependency. It means that I can't self-sufficient to make myself happy. If that makes sense to you, like that's why it's good that you challenge that. But it's just for me, it feels like I need to find things that I'm happy myself, if that makes sense.
As a recently happily newly wedded bride, so definitely agree. So happiness should not depend on your relationship with someone, because there's a huge uncertainty and dependency on that person. So if that person screws you over, you're like screw, or if this group of people screw you over, you screw, then you're not happy. Totally agree with that. But my definition that I do think happiness is to do with the quality of the relationship, but the happiness actually is gained not from the relationship, it's from sharing your already existing happiness. It's about amplifying with a group of people, and then that's where the happiness comes from. So it's absolutely self-sufficient first, and then I think if you're happy yourself and you love something, and then you want to share it, and then once you share it, it's like an amplification that's back to you. Go, Charlotte.
And what I wanted to say is I actually realized I want to challenge Gary here as well, because I know Gary well, and I also don't think you are actually someone who doesn't care about relationship, because when we have some conversation earlier on about choosing what type of work we were choosing, and we were talking about sometimes what if there's a company that you have a really big name but they have a terrible teams, or you are choosing a company with a very small name but you have a really good managers, and you basically really advise me to always choose the one that have a really good manager, and it's all about who you work with. Well, that's actually meaningful relationship. It means you actually really care about the quality of relationship people surrounding in your work. And also, I also don't think having the ability to be able to build meaningful relationship, it's not something show that you are not independent, you can't self-sufficient. It's actually the ability to mean you are self-sufficient, because building a relationship is a human survival skills in the human history. About from anthropology perspective, if we don't belong to somewhere, if we don't lose a sense of belonging, if we lose a sense of identity, we die. We extinct as a human species. So that's
Gary, don't die out of the lack of relationship.
So that's why ability to build relationships is actually nothing about against the self-sufficient. It's actually
Yeah, you are definitely true. Like for me, the relationship is still part of the important part. But it's just, is there anything else beyond that? That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's a very something that people don't explore too much. That's pretty much it.
Cool. I think we have enough hypotheses for Gary to take away and think about it. I strongly recommend you to rethink about some of the things we say and let us know.
You want me to read the book that you recommend?
Exactly.
Right now,
and I will a lot of other
do that
books.
Value exercise.
Value exercise. So before closing, I would like everyone maybe to share one encouraging message to your younger self. So I might get Ting to start, because I noticed she's the only one who have some notes here.
So I want to say to my younger self that nothing is ever too late.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate that a little bit more? Or?
I completely agree.
I think we'll let people interpret what I mean.
Okay, Gary, do you want to share yours?
Sure. For me, it's very straightforward. 4 words, maybe. 4 sentences. Keep exploring, continue dreaming, and then stop procrastinating. That's all.
I'm going to copy something I learned in my meditation video every single morning. There was a positive affirmation. Literally, he just asked me to repeat 3 words every morning. It really works. It's you are strong, you are worthy, you are capable.
You still here? Alright, since you listened to this far, I will let you in on a little secret.
You can suggest us a topic or to be our future guest.
Oh my god, how do you do that?
You can get in touch with us at TingTingandKaKa's.com.
And remember to like, follow, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. 5 star, 5 star, 5